What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is going to bring you a 5 looks 1 palette. Today I'm going to be using my Playing in Makeup by Yolando palette. This is their pastel palette. It's called the Colored Waschina palette. This is the first palette that I have decided to pick up from the brand. It was kind of the first palette that really caught my eye and I was very interested in, so I decided to go ahead and pick her up. I did pick her up during Black Friday when this was on sale for like 40 or 50% off. I really don't remember. I have already done our first impressions. That first impressions will be linked down below for you guys. And with that being said, the look on my eyes right now is the 5th and final look. But if you're interested in seeing a lot more colorful looks, then just keep watching. Alrighty guys, so your girl is here and I am here to do my first look with my multi-look palette video, I don't know, with my Jamrock palette. So I'm extremely excited. This is my first look, like I said, and we're just gonna dive right in. I've clearly already done one eye and I'm just going to show you how I did it. So first what I did, I already primed with my MAC paint pot and I'm going to go ahead and dive into the shade Caitlin. So I did use this shade with my first impressions. I will have that up above and down below. That is the only video thus far that I've put on my channel with this palette. And I did end up using this shade as a transition shade as I'm using it today. I just really love yellows. I love them in my transition. I love everything about yellows. I love putting them on my cheeks, and I knew as soon as I saw this palette that was going to be one of the very first kind of monochromatic looks that I did with this palette. So I did the Caitlin, then what I did is went in with Jasmine, which is a slightly warmer, a little bit more of a kind of a mac and cheese shade. It's not fully, you're gonna see it does pretty much still blend in with Caitlin, but it's starting to slowly bring some warmth to this look, which is nice. So I'm just gonna very lightly blend that right into my crease area. Then we're going to change brushes and we are going to go into the shade Jenna, which is the most mac and cheese shade in this palette without getting to a full-blown orange. I really like this shade Jenna. I'm going to be using this shade quite a bit. I can already feel it and know it. And I'm just going to build this in my outer V first. And then once again, I'm just going to build this in my crease. In the grand scheme of things, if you are recreating this look, you honestly only need one of those pastel yellows. But I really wanted to play with all the yellows today to see how much difference there is in between the yellows and all of that. So I really like to challenge my palettes when I do these multi-look videos. And that's kind of how it came out today. So it's really nice blending brush. I really love these Smith blending brushes, but they're so expensive, so I only have but so many. Anyways, I'm going to go into an even smaller blending brush. This one happens to be from Isim, and I'm going to go into the actual orange in this palette, and this is going to be my outer V shade and my actual kind of deepest shade in this look. And because there's so much yellow in this look and so many like mustardy yellow situation, it's just going to blend in really, really nicely. It's not going to be a true orange. Like, you obviously can tell it's an orange, right? But it also kind of looks like a mac and cheese type of situation and not like a straight up orange. Do I make sense? Probably not, but we're going to keep going with it. We're going to keep going with it. So yeah, we're just going to keep blending. And what I'm going to do is just take the same brush, and this is going to start off my lower lash line with that same shade Alexis. So really nice there. Then what I'm going to do is take my Smith brush and go into the last 2 yellows that I used, which is Jenna and Jasmine. So I'm going to take those 2. I'm just going to mix them with the same brush. No real rhyme or reason how I do it, and I'm just going to blend that out and connect up top. You guys know, if you've watched any of my tutorials or any of my videos, really, I always connect this area together, and that's just the thing for me. Not everybody does it, but your girl does. So, and I do not mind really bringing my lower lash line down. You'll see both of my lower lash line shades are pretty far down. If it bothers you, just take your brush that you use to set your under eye and just clean it up. Bring it up as high as you want. I don't really care. So that's how your girl is going to go. What I'm going to do now is just take a flat brush, and I'm going to take my NYX glitter glue. I'm going to cut my lid just so that I can have a really nice clean base. I am just going to go slightly above my lid like I always do, and I will be right back to show you guys the two shades that I put as metallics on my eyeball. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're in for the lid shade, and I am going to go into the shade Abigail, which is this really interesting shade. It doesn't even, I don't know what it looks like in pan. To me, it kind of looks like a brown in pan, but sis works on my eye with this look, so it kind of looks like a warm brown shimmer. I wouldn't say it's a bronze, and I wouldn't say it's a gold. It just looks like a brown with like orange. I genuinely don't know how to describe that shade. Anyways, we're just gonna keep packing her on all of that NYX glitter glue, and just gonna make sure that everything is even in that cut. Okay, now we're gonna just go on my lower lash line. Went a little ham on that lower lash line. Well, we got a match, so come on, sis. Anyways, last shade we're going to use today is going to be the shade Precious, which is the actual metallic orange, and this is going to be used with a very fluffy pencil brush, and this is going to be my inner corner highlight. And that's how your girl did this look. So I'm just gonna hop off camera. I used two different liners. I used my black from One Size, and I used an orange from ColourPop, and I used my mascara from Lancome, Monsieur Big, that, and I'll be right back to show you guys my finished look. And I'm really happy how this look came out. It definitely is pulling a little bit more mac and cheese than like super pastel yellow, but it still is very pretty. It's still very unique, and that's the type of stuff that your girl likes to do. So I'm already still loving this palette from my first impression in this look. I don't know how many looks I can do. Honestly, just looking at this palette, I can easily come up with like 10 different looks, but do I have the time? I don't know. So I'm gonna try and do as many looks as I can. And anyways, we're just gonna get into look number 2 right about now. Alrighty guys, so we are gonna run through this rather quickly. Yeah, anyways, so this is the look that I'm gonna be recreating for you guys. And first we're gonna go into the shade Caitlin, which is right here. It is the lightest pink in this palette, and it kind of has more of a peachy kind of undertone to it. And this is going to be our transition color for today. It is very light on my complexion, and so it's just going to be a light wash of color all throughout this crease, and it's pretty much going to be covered up after all of the shades are on and done. Then we're going to go into the shade Kiera, which is definitely a lot deeper of a pink, and we are going to focus on keeping Kiera on this outer edge. That's really where I want the majority of this color to be. And we're just gonna feather it up into our crease and into our transition area. I am just gonna lightly bring it in, but I really want the majority of this shade to be on this outer portion. All right, that's looking really, really nice. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the shade Asia, which is the deepest pink in this palette. And this is going to be the deepest shade in this look. So this is gonna be my true outer V shade. And I'm just gonna slowly integrate this color into this outer edge. Not gonna do too much. I don't wanna bring it up too high either. I would say, if anything, bring it over too much and not too high. That means that it'll blend in really nicely with the shimmer shade when we put that on. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start my lower lash line. And we're gonna start it once again with that Asia shade. I kept this shade on the outer lower edge. I did not want to bring it all the way through. What I decided to do was take Kiara, and we're going to tap off a little bit of that excess because this is our lower lash line. And we're just going to blend out Asia with Kiara. And Kiara is going to be the only shade in this inner corner. So you're going to really want to pack that inner corner really nicely with that shade. And also, of course, blend. Blending is always a key and a must. Now we're already good to go. Now we need to go ahead and do our lid shade. So I like to do NYX glitter glue, as you guys know. So I'm just going to go ahead and put on some glitter glue very, very quickly. If you put on too much glitter glue, just take your time and just tap it out. And that'll eventually kind of dry out the product, and then it won't be too bad. Then what I did is I went into the shade Nia, which is like the lightest pinky purple lavendery shade. This is going to be my lid shade today. And take your time with this shade. It's not, even though it crumbled on this eye, I'll figure that out later. It's not a crumbly shade. It's really not. I don't know what happened there. But it's also not a true metallic. I would say this is a straight up shimmer. So keep that in mind. And even honestly, it could probably be more leaning more satiny, if we're being truly honest. Yeah, I would say it's leaning more satiny than even a shimmer. So if you do want to recreate this look and you don't happen to have NYX glitter glue, I'd recommend still having something, even just wetting your brush, because you're going to want something if you want it to be even a little bit more impactful than it naturally is. Then, because your girl is lazy like always, I just flipped my brush over to the clean-ish side, and I took the shade Caitlin, which is the kind of most impactful lavender shade in this palette, and that is my inner corner highlight. I also brought it up a little bit on my lid, and I also dragged it onto my lower lash line. And that's the finished look. It's very quick. All I need to do is my waterline, my mascara, and I will be right back to show you guys the finished look. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. And as always, I am really enjoying this look. It looks really cute. I think that I like the fact that it's not necessarily fully a pinky look because of the way Asia kind of mixed with some of these other pinks. It kind of looks like a little bit purpley, which is why I went ahead and used this lipstick, which is Hey Boy Hey. It's a limited edition MAC and Patrick Star lipstick, and I used it in conjunction with my MAC Chestnut lip liner. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try and do maybe one more kind of monochromatic-ish look, and then I am gonna move on. But if you guys want more looks, just let me know and I will do them, because I have so many ideas with this palette. But I have so many palettes that I need to film with right now. I don't want to hold up too much focusing on only this one palette. But anyways, let's get into look number 3. Alrighty guys, so we are here to do look number 3 for this palette, and we are going to dive right in, and we're going to first go into the shade Alexis, which is the true orange in this palette. This is actually a really good shade, really nice pigmentation, and because there's such good pigmentation, there definitely is some kick up. So overall, I would just say a lot of the shades in this palette, if the pigmentation is popping, so is that kick up. So just keep that in mind in case you are not a huge fan of kick up in general, or just, you know, just whatever. Okay, next what I did is I went into the shade Imani, which is a warmer toned pinky purple shade, and I made that my outer transition area shade. This is definitely a lighter pigmentation. It's definitely not nearly as pigmented as that orange, which in the grand scheme of things will be okay. But just keep that in mind. If you want this to be like a real shade, you're not going to get that uber pigmentation with this particular shadow. Then we're going to deepen this up just a little bit with the shade Jada. You're not going to see true like depth and, you know, diversity with this shade, but you know, I just felt like using all the purples today, so I did. It also just cools down this area a lot, just kind of contrasting this super warm crease area with a kind of cooler toned outer V. And the way I blend this shade, it kind of overpowers Imani, but I'm perfectly fine with that. Next, what I went ahead and did is I went into the darkest purple, this rich royal purple in the shade Jasmine, and this is going to be my actual outer V shade. And so because I'm making this my actual outer V shade, it is going to end up blending up a lot, which once again, I am perfectly okay with. But I am just going to try and really localize a lot of that pigment in this outer V area. Then what I'm gonna do, just because I'm me, and you guys know me, I'm gonna deepen out all of this even more, and I'm gonna go into the shade Emma, which is kind of the darkest shade. It doesn't look like it in the pan, but once you apply it, it definitely is deeper than Jasmine, and it adds something. So I'm just gonna take Emma and deepen out my whole crease. So inner to outer. I'm not gonna hold you up. I am gonna keep Emma lower on this outer edge and kind of higher in this inner edge because I really want it to deepen up that orange, because that's the only thing I have in that part of my eye. But out here, I am gonna just keep it lower than Jasmine, so I still get that beautiful purple, but I deepen up that purple at the same time. All right, so we're doing really good. You guys know me, quick and easy looks is my thing. So then what I'm gonna do, take some NYX glitter glue, cut my eye, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so your girl is good to go. And I really have been wanting to try this shimmer, which is the shade Tiara. It does look like a turquoise on camera, but there is a shift of purple depending on where your eye is looking, which is why I decided to use this as my metallic today. I figured it would both be different with that blue, but then at the right angle, that purple will really shine. It'll kind of just bring this look all types of together. So super happy with that. All right. And then inner corner today, I'm just gonna take Precious on the other side of my lid brush, and we're just gonna put this right in. Ooh, took way too much. Right into the inner corner. And we're gonna blend her up onto my lid. Okay. Got a little bit of fallout, so let's just clean that up. Then what I'm going to do is take the fluffier of the two smaller blending blushes that I used, and I'm just going to go into Emma, and this is going to be the only shade that I put down here on my lower lash line. For me, I'm having just a wee bit of problems with my eyes right now, so I'm trying to avoid putting anything really heavy in my waterline or on my lower lash line, which is why I decided to just go in with this shade only. And with this brush, I figured it would be the softest on my lower lash line, and just hopefully I'll be good tomorrow when I wake up. So all I need to do is add on my mascara and I will be good to go, and I will show you guys my finished look. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. And I think this looks really interesting, really fun, really cool. It kind of has some dark elements to it, but also has a lot of bright, colorful color, of course. So I feel like this is kind of like a springy, but like winter okay look. You know, it's me, so I'll wear a bright rainbow look no matter what season it is, but I'm really enjoying this look. I'm gonna aim to do at least 2 more looks for this video. I just don't have the time, honestly, to do all 10 like I would like to, but if you guys really enjoy this video and you want another 5 looks, just give this video a thumbs up and comment down below and I will do it. But in that instance, let's just keep going into look number 4. Alrighty guys, so I'm here to bring you guys look number 4 using this palette, and we are just gonna go right in because this is a very interesting look that I did today. So first what I did is I went into the shade Heather, which is the lightest green in this palette, and at first what I did is I just packed her all in very lightly. Then what I did is I took Deja Vu and I basically went right over that shade. And this is going to start my kind of ombre crease that I did today. So then what I did is I went into Aaliyah and I started this shade slightly to the right of where Deja was. So that's kind of how I decided to make this look ombre. I don't know if that's how like professional makeup artists do it, but like that's how I could think to do it. So that's what I did. Then I went into the shade Candy, which is the darkest green. And I did the same thing. I started off a little bit to the right of where I started Aaliyah. And I do tend to have too much product on this brush. This brush just picks up a lot of product, and this pan just like, or this palette just is very pigmented. So I would just wipe it off on my hand just so I wasn't spreading that color too far. Then we're just gonna start off with the blues. I only used 2 blue shades in my crease today. And first what I did is I went into the shade Madeline. And this is kind of just like the prepper blue shade, if you will. So I just put this right here. I'm not really blending it out or anything. I'm just really just putting it there just to prep to have my shades go from green to blue. And then the real kind of blue shade that I put in this look was the shade Catherine, which is a really deep kind of royalish blue. It doesn't look as deep as it does in the pan as it does when you put it on the eye. It definitely deepens up in my opinion, which I enjoyed. So we're just going to take my time and sculpt this area then. Super easy and very blendable. Now I'm just going to take a smaller blending brush wrong brush. I'm gonna take a smaller blending brush and I'm just gonna kind of pack this outer V area just to make sure it really is this blue. Because with that really fluffy blending brush, you really just don't get that effect. So really, really nice there. While I'm here, we might as well just go ahead and do my lower lash line very quickly. I'm still doing a very minimal lower lash line just because of what's going on with my eye. I think I figured it out, but I want to make sure before I go real in. So we're just going to use that same really fluffy ECM brush that I did yesterday. The main thing for me, as always, is just to make sure that this outer edge is connected. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is hop off camera. I am going to cut my lid and I will be right back to show you guys how I did my lid shades. Alrighty, so lid is cut, and for my main lid shade, what I did is I went into the actual green metallic, which is Raven. So I just went ahead and took that shade, and this is gonna go all over my lid. Inner corner highlight wise, what I did, I kind of messed up and then I fixed it. So we're just gonna try and skip to the fixed it part and hopefully it'll work out. And I used the shade Caitlin. So this is the icy purple metallic that I used yesterday, I believe. And we're just gonna first use it with a fluffy brush in this inner corner. And then we are going to blend her up. And this is pretty much the finished look. Not very complicated. I think it actually came out really, really nicely. I'm just gonna hop off camera to do both of my liners. I did put a liner in today. Pray for me. Put my mascara on, finish up the rest of my base, and then I'll be right back to show you guys the finished look. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. And once again, I'm just really enjoying this look again today. I definitely have learned even more about this palette using it once again today. I'm pretty sure today I've officially used almost every shade. There are one or two that I haven't used, so I think that's going to be my goal tomorrow, is to use the last couple of shades that I have not used thus far just organically, because I can see 4 shades in this palette that literally have no impression at all in the palette. So that's a very, very good. I'm very happy. And then after my 5 looks, I will fully have my thoughts for this palette. So good to go. If you're wondering, kind of really quickly, everything base wise is normal, except I set my under eyes today with this shade from my Alamar Cosmetics Trio. Everything else is normal. In my waterline today, I have a Pastel Dream Liner from LA Girl in the shade Magic Mint. If you've been interested in this line, last time I checked, Ulta actually has this on sale, this whole range. So I would recommend it in case you are wondering. That being said, let's get into the 5th and final look. Alrighty guys, so I'm here to bring you the 5th and final look with this baby, and she's gonna be a very quick look. As you can see on this eye, it's a very basic look. So first what I did is I took Emma, and basically Emma's gonna be the main star of this show. So she's gonna be all in my transition and my crease area, and I'm just using a very, very fluffy brush for this. You do not have to be precise when it comes to this look, in case you are recreating it. Then I'm just going to take the time to just make sure there is color on my outer V and my inner corner with this brown. So very, very simple look. This brown low-key blends it with my skin. It's just a little too cool to like perfectly blend in my skin, but it's It pretty much does. Then what I'm gonna do is take a flat brush and some NYX glitter glue and cut my lid. Alrighty, so my lid is cut, and then what I'm just gonna do is go into the shade Abigail, which is kind of a bronzy, warm shade, and this is going to be my lid shade. The way I cut my lid, I did it so this is gonna be like a hollow look. Is that what they call it? Child, I don't even know what they call this look. Anyways, y'all know what it is. Y'all can see it. Anyways, why is this on? Okay, so I just, sorry, I had to step away for a second. I just put that one shade on my lid, and just to finish up this look very, very quickly, I'm gonna take one of my favorite shades, which is Shawnee's, and I'm gonna use a fluffy, pencil brush, and this is going to be my inner corner highlight. Then I'm going to take that same shade Emma, and this is going to be my lower lash line shade. Oops, I'm sorry about that. So very, very simple look. All I need to do is hop off camera, just put on my mascara, and then I will come back to show you guys the finished look. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. And it came out really, really nice, very, very quick, very simple. And that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted to kind of very much show the diversity and the different range of looks that you can come out with this palette. I feel like this is a very, very neutral kind of basic look, and for somebody who really wants to always have that in their palettes, I wanted to show that you can do that in a very simple and quick way. Of course, you can jazz this basic look up just adding a little bit something on your lower lash line, or maybe just adding a little something in your transition area and then going in with the brown. So there's very easy ways to really jazz up the looks with this palette and to also jazz them down. What do I feel about this palette? Overall, I think this palette is beautiful. I think the formulation and pigmentation is very good. I will say it definitely is a powdery formulation. So if you are not a fan of Kick Up, you're not going to like this formula. And with that being said, if you don't have a primer that is sticky, you're not going to get the most impact out of this formulation because it's not all of the pigmentation is not going to stick on your eyeshadow primer or on your eyes for that point. Overall, like I said in my first impressions, for me, I do like the color scheme. I really do like the formulation. I really do like the palette. But for me, these first two rows don't both need to be in this palette. I think they definitely could have made these first two rows into one row, had the next two rows, and then had an even deeper row. And then this would have been kind of, for me, my ultimate pastel palette. But clearly that's not what is provided in this palette, which I'm perfectly fine with. But I'm also just happy that I was able to finally try out this brand's formulation. I've now tried their formula with their eyeshadow base and then also with just other eyeshadow bases. I think their eyeshadow formula works with any base that I have personally tried, which is a plus for me. And I'm just going to continue to slowly try this brand out more and more. I do have quite a few things that I really do want to purchase from this brand in the very near future. It just needs to make it into my budget. So that's pretty much it. I don't have very many harsh opinions on this. I think every shade that I tried is really, really nice. If I had to pick like the worst shadow in this palette, I would say it definitely is Caitlin. I think that it's just a little bit too powdery for this formulation on somebody of my complexion. So it just really doesn't, it really just don't do nothing. Okay, it don't. It's a nice preparatory shade for the actual nice yellows. This is definitely my favorite yellow. You guys know how much I love yellows. But every other shade I think definitely holds its own in this palette, which is very, very nice. So yeah, let me know down below if you want to see another 5 looks. I definitely can do it. I just did not have the time, and I didn't want to stay too focused on this palette while I have other ones that I really do want to show you guys on my channel. So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, y'all, Black lives do matter. Please remember to wear a mask and stay safe. Please get the vaccine whenever you are able to. And I will see you guys in my next video.